somebody hunched over. Well, what we thought was a person hunched over, but it stood up. And when it stood up, we realized that's not one of us. It proceeded to walk across the river, the Squally River, across and then up the embankment and into the woods. I do have a friend that drove down the road and swears he saw a big, hairy thing walking down the side of the road on two legs.
You're listening to the Cryptid Creatures Podcast with Todd and Brian. If you've had an encounter and want to be on the show, email us at info@cryptidcreatures.co or visit our website at www.cryptidcreatures.net.
This is the Cryptid Creatures Podcast. I am Brian, and with me as always is my co-host Todd. What's up, buddy?
Hello, Brian, and hello, listeners. Brian, we got another Bigfoot encounter coming on today.
Yes, we do. It sounds like a good one.
It does. Coming around Mount Rainier again in the Washington
Rainier?
state. You know, that's a popular state for Bigfoot. I think it's the most popular state for Bigfoot, to be honest.
Washington, yep. So they say.
So we're going to bring Jessica on and talk about what she saw and encountered up there.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear this one.
Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's bring her on.
Yep, let's get her.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for being here with us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You had submitted to us online about that you'd had several encounters, I guess, in your lifetime, and
yes,
you also just had one recently here in about a month
two
ago.
Actually.
Okay.
I've had two recently.
Wow.
We started back in the very beginning. We had just moved into this place in Yelm, Washington, Thurston County area. There was a bunch of kids were out partying down by a river. And it takes probably about 2 hours to walk to this area. And it's all woods. There's nothing around. There's no houses. Once you hit the spurt, it's just pitch black. And we were always down there partying. And we called it the Wire Bridge, because it connected to Fort Lewis. And it was a wire bridge, just about this big. It went all the way across the river and had two along the top. And they would run up and down on it. The soldiers would. And we had a little campground out there or whatnot. And when you walked down, the river was like out here. And then there was a campsite that we partied out or hung out at or whatever. It was over here. And the first encounter is, there was a bunch of us down there. I don't remember how many people. I was a little drunk, not going to lie. And everybody started going, there's somebody down there puking. So everybody, of course, wants to know who's gotten sick first. So we all line up along this edge and we're seeing somebody hunched over. Well, what we thought was a person hunched over. And we're yelling and hollering and carrying on and are you okay? And well, it stood up. And let me take you back. It was dark, but it was bright enough for us to see like a silhouette. So it was during the summertime. But it stood up. And when it stood up, we realized that's not one of us. And it proceeded to walk across the river, the Squally River, across and then up the embankment and into the woods. So at that point, we were like, yeah, okay. That was definitely not one of us. Definitely not human. All you could see basically was the outline of it. You could tell it was definitely not a human. It did walk on 2 feet, but it was huge. And mind you, we were probably, I'm trying to get guesstimate of how far we were away from the river, but it was quite entertaining. I don't really remember what happened after that because we, I guess, all went back to partying and hanging out or whatever. Second time I've seen it was actually the same spot, and I didn't see it this time. I heard it, and it walked behind me. So it was me and two friends. We were down there. We had a campfire, and the woods, the trees behind us, you couldn't see through them. Like, even in the daylight, they were so thick you could not see anything. And shortly prior to this, I had ran and hid in the woods because my mom's boyfriend at the time was coming in to look for me, and I didn't want to go with him. So I ran and hid in the woods. And about where I was standing, you couldn't see me because obviously I was in the woods, but the firelight didn't touch the trees. And a short time later, I came out and I was sitting on the log, and it kind of horseshoed. The little area we were in, it kind of horseshoed with the woods around. There was a walk outside to the left, and then you had an open view of the river. And I'm sitting there, all of a sudden, the two people that I was with turned white. Like, their faces, like, were in shock. I'm not turning around because whatever this thing is, it's behind me. I'm not turning my big, nope, not doing it. So I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, I can hear it walking, and it walks right behind me, but it walks just out of light. So you can't quite see it, but you know it's there. It walked behind me and up the trail and onto the gravel road. These two guys go after it. They went out. No, I laid down next to the fire and like curled myself around the fire. I didn't move. They come back and they said whatever it was gone in just a few steps. They couldn't see anything. A short time later, I was like, all right, it's time for me to go. Can you guys walk me home? Because it's like a 2-hour walk in the dark up this trail or this road. The whole time me and my friend are walking home, this thing's paralleling us. It's walking in the woods next to us. We can hear it. We can see the trees move, or not see the trees move, but we can hear the trees move and everything. And it followed us all the way up until right before we came to the very first house. The next day, he said it followed him back down. And when he got back down to the bottom, his friend was actually sleeping on the wire bridge because it kept messing with him and it was shaking the bridge, trying to get him off. They did see footprints, but they weren't, because it was in sand, so it was hard to actually distinguish the footprint. But you can tell something big had walked in that spot. So the third time, same spot, down with some friends. We had pulled up in their car. The two guys were in the front, and me and my girlfriend were in the back. And they had gotten out, and we didn't see them walk around to the left hand or the right hand side of the car because we walked around to the back side, and we were standing there. And we're standing there talking for maybe, I don't know, about 5-10 minutes. All of a sudden, to our left, we hear a bush shaking and a like noise. We're like, ha ha, you guys, very funny. And they come walking up from the right side of us going, what's so funny? How did you get, you were just over there. We turned and looked into the woods just to see the back of its head walking into the woods.
Wow.
We got in the car and left very, very quickly. And I honestly haven't been back to that spot since.
Why? Sounds like a hot spot.
Yeah.
It was, but unfortunately, it was taken over by Joint Base in Lewis McCord, and we get caught down there, we can't go to jail. And so we decided not to. They were having a lot of issues with people crossing the bridge and going down and like vandalizing stuff on the military side. So we decided, yeah, they put a stop to it.
Kind of funny.
So
all that's going on right there by a military base, huh?
Right. And the weird thing is we actually hung out with a lot of military guys that would come across and they would see us partying over there. So they would come over and be like, hey, technically you guys are not supposed to be here. As long as you guys don't mess anything up, you're not vandalizing anything, you clean up after yourselves, whatever. And we ask them, have you guys seen anything? Have you heard anything? Like, and most of them were pretty hesitant to tell us that they saw something or heard something, but some of them did quite a bit. So, and then just recently, my husband and I, we love to night fish. We go night fishing quite a bit. And again, this is in Yelm, Washington, Thurston County area, but it's on the other side at a lake. It's called Lawrence Lake. I've been going there since I was a kid. Fished there my entire life with my dad. And this is actually just August 28th of this year. We were out fishing, and my husband's on the shoreline. I'm out on the dock. So he was off to my left, and then the woods are off to my right. We automatically had that eerie feeling when we got there. There was no frogs. There was nothing. And usually you can hear ducks and all kinds of stuff. I just had an eerie feeling. The wind was blowing away, like towards the woods. So I definitely didn't smell anything or pick anything up. But we're sitting there, and we get there about 9:30. So around 10:30, 11 o'clock, we start hearing noises in the woods. We're hearing footsteps, stuff, simple things. I'm not kidding you when I say my body turned white. I'm getting goosebumps now. The vocalization that came out of these woods scared me so bad. And it was like maybe 40 yards behind me in the woods. But it had a whoop in the beginning. Then it went into a longer, like, whoo sound. And then another whoop at the end. So I'm like, okay, that couldn't have been a bobcat. That can't be a cougar because nothing whoops.
Right.
I looked at my husband and I said, get your ass out here and you better get me off this dock because I am not walking by the woods, because I had to walk right in front of the woods to get back to the car. I was scared. Yes, I was scared. But it was more of that excited scare. Like, did I really hear what I just heard? And my husband goes, did we really just hear that? I was like, I think we really just did that. So a short time later, we started hearing some like tree knocks and some other weird noises. So we decided, okay, it's time to go. So we packed up and left. A couple weekends later, we went back the following weekend. Way too many people out. Way too much noise. There was parties going on all around the lake. Couldn't hear anything. So we fished. We left. We went back the next weekend. So right Labor Day weekend. I think we went back that Sunday. We got out of the car. There was frogs. There was, noises going on. And there was a car parked at the top. So I knew that there was people either on the water in a boat or in the woods somewhere along the lake fishing. Because I could see a spotlight. I just didn't know where it was coming from. Nothing, major was going on. All of a sudden, we started hearing tree knocks. And the people that were there were quite a bit of ways from us. They were around the bend into a cove, like way, way down. So if they did a tree knock or anything like that, it wouldn't have carried that far to sound that close. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But we were getting tree knocks. and a few other things. Well, the guys left. Hey, did you guys hear anything? Did you guys see anything? Anything like that? But I was like, I'm not going to be like nosy, and I don't know them, so I don't know if they're going to be polite about anything. So I left it alone. Short time after they left, maybe 10, 15 minutes, my husband and I are both out on the dock. We're fishing. We're having a great time. We're catching catfish. Here come the vocalizations again. Here come the tree knocks. Here come the walking. Like, it was all right there again. It wasn't as loud as the last time, but there was a small vocalization of a whoop. There were tree knocks. I tried to get my phone out fast enough to like record it to see if I can hear anything, but it was too faint for my phone to actually catch, which really, really sucks. But I do plan going out again. I do plan on taking my voice recorder and seeing if I can't get anything. And it's been such a dry summer that I can't really look for prints.
Right.
But I do have a friend that drove down the road around the lake and swears he saw a big, hairy thing walking down the side of the road on two legs. And there's been multiple accounts of vocalizations and actually sightings all around that lake. So I'm trying to get somebody to come down and investigate, be like, look, there's something going on here. You guys got to come check it out. So,
I'd love to be able to get out there and do that.
Yeah. Those are pretty much most of my encounters so far. And I go out in the woods a lot.
So are those basically pretty close to the same area?
Yes.
All those? Okay.
Yeah, they're all within the same, basically the same town. I've pretty much lived in the Yelm, Thurston County area since I was like 5. And there's been some other weird things that's gone around here too. I've seen UFO and that kind of thing out just right around the corner from Lawrence Lake.
Is that close to one of the volcanoes?
Yes. Mount Rainier.
Mount Rainier is pretty close. I was looking on a map here.
Yeah.
Yelm is pretty much the first town, closest town from I guess the tip of Mount Rainier that you would run into before you get into Tacoma, Olympia, all that.
Oh, so you're close.
The area around it here, you're talking about Lake Lawrence. Was the lake that you mentioned, and I'm seeing that it's kind of set back even more into the wilderness. So I'm not surprised that there's a lot of activity where you're at. Washington is known for huge amounts of sightings and activity, especially around the mountains there. Did these happen from the first one to the third one? You said they all happened in the same area, which kind of makes sense. What kind of time frame are we talking year-wise? Was that a 5-year span?
That was probably, because I moved in around that area in 95, 96. So this happened around like 97, and between like 97 and probably 99 is when they like stopped allowing us to get down there. And I'm not the only one. I've had a few friends that's had several encounters down there as well. You can, if you look up Nisqually Pines and like get an overhead view, you'll go down from that. You'll see a store called Country Joe's. You'll see a little side road off. If you follow that side road all the way down, you'll come to the river. And that's where it was at. It was literally right there. There's no houses down there. It's fenced off. It's a beautiful space. Like, we used to walk it all the time.
Is beautiful.
I know. I love.
Yeah.
I honestly this is home. It's home. The only spot in the world where you can stand in one spot and see like 3 different mountains at one time. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Before this ever happened, Jessica, before your first encounter, growing up and living there, did you believe in Bigfoot, or what were your thoughts on Bigfoot before you saw this first?
I did believe in Bigfoot. My dad, before he passed away, had mentioned one time when he was out in the woods, he came across something that he only got a glimpse of it, but he goes, it wasn't a bear. And I grew up hunting, or not hunting. I grew up camping in this whole area. And so my grandpa's always warned us, booger's going to get you or something like that. But we always knew something was out there, but I didn't actually know what it was until I actually seen one myself. And seeing the back of the head of one that close was just...
Were these all summertime sightings?
Yeah, most of them were all summertime. We used to live on a hill called Hillcrest, again in Yelm. And there would be strange things that happened around there, strange blue lights, strange sounds from the sky. We never knew, every once in a while we'd hear this whoop, whoop, and we're like, what is that? We were kids. We didn't. Well, until the day I went outside to feed my rabbits, and I was up on the hill, and my dog, who was on a chain, I was picking clover, she jumped into my coat, and I couldn't have been more than 10, 11 at this point. And so this was 92, 93. Freaks out, jumps into my coat, and is trying to bury herself in my jacket. And she's freaking out. And I'm like, what are you doing? And here come that noise again. Well, this time I actually saw something. I looked up in the sky and it flew by. Yeah.
Flew in the sky?
Yeah. It was a UFO. Sorry. Didn't mean to. Yeah. It was a UFO. Oh. I saw a UFO fly across the top.
You got a lot of UFO sightings out there.
Yes. And now we have this alien festival thing that they do every year. And it's weird because they didn't do it when I was a kid, but all of a sudden now we do the alien festival.
Nice.
Can you describe the UFO that you saw, or did you say it was nighttime? I can't remember.
It was dusk. So the sun was setting, so it was still light outside. But all I can remember is it was round and dark and there were lights. And it was not a plane because planes have wings. This was round. It was just round. And I looked at the dog. I said, you get in the doghouse, and I'm running to the house. After that, I didn't like sleeping next to windows. Windows terrified me. When you're a kid, you want to investigate a little bit. You want to know, okay, what does this thing do?
Right.
Well, they said that they have blue lights that come through the windows and take people. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not sleeping next to no windows.
Right.
So I wouldn't sleep next to windows, but we found a cow out in the field with no blood on it, just dead in the field. One of those weird things.
Yeah, there's Rainier, that area is pretty big for UFOs over several years. I mean, they've even, conspiracy theory is there's a base in Rainier.
Lizard people.
Mm-hmm.
Ramsters. Ramtha.
So you're in a pretty good spot.
I hope so, because I'm very curious. I want to know more. I want to go out. I keep asking my husband, I was like, you want to go out? Let's go out. He's like, I'm not going out so you can go squatching. I'm like, I'll fish. I just want to know. I just want to hear it again.
Right.
I don't.
Equipment. That's all.
Right. I do carry a sidearm when I go out, obviously, because we do have, like I said, we have bear, we have cougar, we have bobcat. I've seen a bobcat walk right out in front of my car, just walk across the street.
Wow, really?
That's
a rare thing.
Well, where I live now, I live in something called Skookumchuck Valley. It's in Tenino, Washington, just south of Yelm. And it's just woods. It's just woods. the river's right across the street. I can walk right down there and go fishing anytime.
Man.
So
yeah, we gotta get out
I'm
there.
always out in the woods. So I do carry a sidearm, and I don't want to hurt anything. I don't want to shoot anything. I just want to know more about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be like, look, I'm not crazy. I heard it. Here's the proof.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta protect yourself when you're out there in the woods, so that's understandable. I mean,
you're definitely in a hot spot. You couldn't get any better spot where you're at, and no wonder that's why you've had so many experiences with these things. And I'm sure if you keep going out there, you're going to run into something else.
Well, eventually you're gonna see you on face to face.
Well, I told my husband, I was like, hey, can I do something? He's like, what? I was like, can I give one of these catfish to the Bigfoot? He's like, what? I was like, can I take one of the catfish and go stick it on the trail? And here, I'm not here to hurt you. Peace offering. And he's like, really, babe? I was like, hey, you never know.
Wow.
Okay? You never know. Because there may be a time where I'm out there by myself and I need help and that thing comes and helps me. Hopefully. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I want to know more. I want to see more. I want to be out there. And my sisters are now fairly interested in coming out with me. and I was like, well, I don't know about like, right? And the one lady you had on, I've been listening to your podcast like nonstop.
Thank you.
So I'm getting up there, caught up. Okay. So you had one young lady that was here in Washington, and she had the Bigfoot in the tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I told my husband about it. He's like, they go on trees. I was like, dude, don't even.
Yes,
like,
always.
If we're doing the stuff, look in the trees because they get up there too.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the last thing we need is one of those things jumping out of the tree.
Yeah, she was up in the Olympic Peninsula. That was
okay.
Yeah, I remember that one now. I think she saw them swimming or something. They came out of the water.
Saw them swimming too. Yep.
Yeah, they were swimming, and my husband, he asked me one time.
Definitely look up in the trees.
Yeah, he was like, "You want to take the dogs?" I'm like, "No, we're not taking my dogs. No. Bigfoot are known to kill dogs. Yeah. I'm not taking my dogs."
Easy meal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And I've got a pretty fat dog. I mean, she's my sidekick, and I don't think she got right. So now they're all being lazy.
So you say
that's all right.
He doesn't believe in them then?
No, my husband. Oh no, he does. He does.
He does believe in them.
Yes. Well, from the vocalization that we got that night, we got on. I got on YouTube and I started looking up different animal sounds. And because I know cougars can make different noises, they chirp like a bird. I mean, for crying out loud, I hear them all the time.
Cougars,
I know what a coyote sounds like. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, the way this thing sounded, it like I said, it whooped in the beginning, and then it went into this like weird high-pitched scream with almost a growl. And I did find something similar to it when I was watching a YouTube on bobcats. And it almost sounded like a bobcat scream, but bobcats don't whoop. Right. And they don't tree knock. So I'm like, I don't believe it was a bobcat.
And if you listen to some of those, like we've played a few on the show, some of the calls that people have recorded. If you listen to them, at some point in the call and the howl and the whoop and whatever, it sounds like a human tone voice.
Yes.
At some point in there. And I don't know no animal that can do that.
No, it was weird because it went, I've tried to recreate the whooping sound. It was like, it went whoop, whoop. But in the middle of it, there was like a growl. Not a growl, but like a gurgling sound. And I can't recreate that sound. But it was high, very high pitch.
Actually, sounds like the Sierra sounds a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was really weird. I was talking to my husband because matter of fact, I just watched. I just listened to the one where you had the guy that recorded those.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Moorhead.
I just listened to it.
Ron
yes.
Moorhead. Yep.
Last night.
Cool.
And I was listening to the chatter, and I'm going. I started getting goosebumps. My husband goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I've heard that out when we were down, and by the pines, but we always thought it was a person or something out there, or the military." So I can't definitively say that's what it was, but I've heard something similar to that. The chattering, not necessarily all the vocalizations, but the or however they sound. I can't make it, but it was I'm hoping to get some at least vocalizations and tree knocks on record. If I don't ever get one on video, that's okay. I know what I've seen. I know what I heard. So there's...
Yeah, you should try and get yourself one of those good parabolic mics, those with like the satellite looking thing on,
My friends and I are...
a little more expensive, yeah. But
yeah, well, my friends and I are wanting to start a ghost hunting team.
Ghost hunting?
Yeah.
That's a little different.
Lisa, you've actually had her on the show as well. She's the one that introduced me to you guys. She saw the Bigfoot up in Roy.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. We just, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You just aired hers.
Not too long. Hers just came out
ago.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, not long ago.
Yep. And she's had some paranormal stuff. I've had some paranormal stuff. And so we were like, hey, let's go ghost hunting. So I'm sitting there going, I could take this stuff and go squatching too.
You could.
So I may have to do that.
Yeah, it's all multi-purpose when it comes to that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It could be all encompassing, just looking for some kind of encounter, whether it be a Bigfoot or a ghost or
a ghost or whatever. Yeah, and if you guys do that, we like ghost stories too. So
oh yeah,
you guys get out there and you find some stuff and you record some stuff, then you need to come back on here and talk to us.
Right.
About it.
Oh yeah, I've had encounters with spirits as well. So I told one to leave me alone. Don't take my blankets. But it's a fascinating subject. It is. I've always been. I really hope, in a way, I want them to be discovered and brought to light. But at the same time, I don't, because then that'll just ruin the mystery. That'll just ruin the magic, I guess you can say, of what this creature is.
I don't know. Depends on how you look at it, I guess.
Right. So, I mean, it's the same with anything. You overdo it, then there's not going to be any left.
The mystery part would go away. I think a lot of people still wouldn't believe it until they stuck a couple of them in some zoos somewhere, unfortunately.
And that's what we don't want to see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So in that aspect, I don't want that to happen, but I do want it to be known to science. So all these non-believers out there and the people that kind of laugh and scoff at people like us who want to help prove this existence and understand what people are seeing out there. So they would be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. They are out there. These people aren't lying. Right. They're seeing this thing.
Right.
But it would cause terror and havoc and everything else, too.
It would.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I mean, look at when they first, found a bear. People, they don't exist until they actually came up and seen them.
Remember the mountain gorillas in Africa? Those were myths for a long time until somebody came down with a couple of them.
Right. And
yeah, Bigfoot's a little bit harder to come out of the woods with, but somebody's probably done it.
How big your gun is.
Somebody's probably done it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. And you guys were talking about the haunted Bigfoot in Alaska. I can't remember exact name of it. Alaskan tawny Bigfoot.
Alaskan killer Bigfoot.
Yeah, killer Bigfoot.
Alaskan
That's what
killer
it was.
Bigfoot. Yeah.
Yes. I love that show.
Mm.
I watched it. I watched it all the way through. Great show.
Oh, I did too.
And I watch all of them. I watch my Disney or my Discovery Plus is just chock full of mythic, cryptic creature stuff.
Ours too.
So it's always been a fascinating subject.
Yeah.
We've seen them all. In fact,
if you get Tubi, you should try Tubi too. Tubi is full
I
of
have it. Yep.
cryptid.
we're going to check one out at some point. I just found out today that's called The Cannibal in the Jungle. So if you get a chance, look that up. I haven't seen it yet. I just heard about it today. It came out in May, I guess, on Animal Planet. But I'm pretty sure it's about, it's more of a Bigfoot documentary kind of thing. Looks very interesting.
Yeah, we're going to check that one out.
I am actually very intrigued because that does sound pretty cool. My father-in-law, my husband's dad, they're from Guam. And they're great people, and they believe in the Tatomona and the little people and all these other things. And I'm like, then why can't you believe in Bigfoot?
Right.
Why not believe in Bigfoot? What's the difference between your legends and the legends over here? Because he laughed at me. He straight thought I was crazy when I first told him about Bigfoot. I was like, you can't believe in one thing.
Yeah, I'd be more inclined to believe in the big 10-foot monster than the little bitty 2-foot monster.
Let me tell you, I've heard some stories about the little people of Guam. Like, my husband's told me some stories, and some other Chamorros have told me some stories, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to mess with the little people. But
there's a video out there. There's a video of some guy. He's on a motorcycle or a dirt bike or something. It looks like he's in a foreign country.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I say that is because how these people are dressed. They're more native looking gentlemen. And the guy comes around this corner and a little dude, I mean like a little 1 foot tall native looking guy with a little spear comes running out in front of him, and he chases him for a little bit, and it ducks off into the other side of the thing.
Then ducks into the woods. Yeah.
I've never seen that. I gotta find it.
It doesn't look
Let's see if we can find that one. We'll send it to you.
Yeah, it doesn't look photoshopped at all, but you never know. But
okay, yeah, you have to show me that because that would be cool to look at. I'm always looking on YouTube for.
The Truth is Out There. That's what that was on.
Truth is Out There.
The Truth is Out There.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, right now I'm watching Paranormal Caught on Camera.
That's a good one.
I'm into that one. I've watched all of the ghosts. Yep. Watched that one. The Lost Tapes. It was on Animal Planet. Have you seen that one? The Lost Tapes?
I've heard of them. I might have caught one or two of them. Are they remakes of actual
They're not
encounters?
supposed to be. Yeah, they're not supposed to be remakes. They're actually supposed to be the real tapes of the people that lived the encounter. Like they had a chupacabra where the people were coming across the desert and the man was filming his family, and like they're all killed by a chupacabra, and they get it on film, and then the cops find it with the little girl, and there was one with the Bigfoot lady, or a ranger was living up in the woods, and she was doing a survey of the area, and she kept taking down snare traps from a hunter or a poacher, and the poacher started messing with her. Well, she got defended by a Bigfoot. The Bigfoot supposedly killed this guy, and she's got like trail cameras that caught stuff, and it's all on that show.
The Lost Tapes.
So, The Lost Tapes. It was on Animal Planet for a while. I believe.
Okay. I'll find it.
Yeah, I believe it's on Disney or Discovery Plus.
Monster Quest is another good one if you haven't seen that one.
Oh, I love Monster Quest. That's always.
I love Monster Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my other favorite ones.
We interviewed Doug Hychek too. So
the producer,
that's the guy who did Monster Quest.
Yeah.
Creator of Monster Quest.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm up to that one yet. What do you remember what episode that one was?
It's not too many ago. maybe 70 something, maybe.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think it
yeah,
was in the
I'm still at, I think I'm at 54, 55 right now, because I literally just got done with the one with the Sierra files.
70s. Sierra Sound.
I just listened to that one. And then the one after that was the gentleman from right here in Washington. He has a Bigfoot thing up here, the Olympia
Oh, yeah.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So
The Olympic
Corey, I think his name was Corey.
No.
So yeah, I actually got a hold of them and left a message. Sent him an email telling him that y'all should come down this way and check it out.
Shane Corson. Yep, that's who it was.
Yes, that's what it was. Shane Corson. I knew it would start with a C. I just couldn't remember exactly which one.
Yeah, you're not far
get
from
a hold
there.
of him. He'll come down there and check it. He'll come down there and check it out.
Yeah, he'll come check it out. Just around that lake, I got a feeling they're just kind of migrating down off the mountain, and that lake's the first good source of water they can get to.
Tell them you heard about him on our show, and
Oh yeah, I did. I was literally just listening to your podcast on cryptid creatures, and I wanted to reach out and let you know about the encounters I've had down here. Like, not just in this area. Unfortunately, we can't get down there anymore, but this area over here. And my friend Lori, whose husband is the one that's seen it walking down the road, she looked it up online, and there's been quite a few reported encounters of things, creatures around that area. It's all like on this one road called Vale Loop. And she looked it up and she goes, the way he came in the door, it's hard to deny. That's what he saw. And it was like literally just a few days after I had my first one.
right.
After the first time I saw it or heard it.
Nice.
You guys are
very cool.
You guys are in a mecca of Bigfoot.
Yes, you are.
Right
You
there.
are right in the middle of it.
I am really hoping that one day when I go out to the river down here and go fishing, I catch something. I get to see or hear something.
We do too.
Because down here is
Kid me,
there's
I'm
nothing
excited
but
for you.
woods.
Yeah. Yeah, we want you to have a real
I'll
good
definitely
close
be
encounter.
posting.
Have a real
Yeah, we
good
want you to
close
come back on and
encounter
tell
so you
us
can come
about
back on and tell us the details.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I
You're
want to
good.
get that close.
You're good at describing
Might be a little
stuff, so
scary.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe 50 yards away and you have binoculars. We'll take that.
Maybe maybe. Enough time if I had to get away, I can
that's
still
good
get
enough.
away.
There you go.
Maybe.
We thank you for coming on, Jessica, and talking to us tonight. It's been real
Yeah,
fun.
this was fun.
Yeah, it was a great time. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
And I will, if I hear anything or see anything, I definitely will be posting it to you guys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
if
please
I
let
can
us
get a
know.
hold of Shane and we find anything,
Get him out there.
I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know for sure.
You
That'd
are
be awesome.
definitely in a hot spot Mecca area for sure. So
Yes, you are.
You should be able to
Yes, you are.
keep getting out there. Just keep getting out there and keep
I
Stay
I'm
steady
not
and
stopping.
you'll come across something. Let us know how the ghost hunting turns out too.
Yeah.
yes, I will. Yeah. I'll keep you guys informed of everything.
Okay, cool.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Thank
All right,
you.
thanks again, Jessica.
We'll see
Thank you
ya.
guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Lyle Blackburn, and you're listening to the Cryptid Creatures podcast with Brian and Todd.
It was really good to bring Jessica on.
Yeah, she is definitely in a hot spot right around Rainier right there.
But yeah, a lot of stuff goes on in Washington. Not just Bigfoot, obviously, like she said, some UFO action too. But that area is definitely a hot spot. I think they stay up.
Yeah, around Mount Rainier is big time. UFOs, Bigfoot, everything.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah. What is going on in the Pacific Northwest?
Remember, guys, if you're enjoying the show, be sure to check out our website, www.cryptidcreatures.net.
That's right. It's like a one-stop shopping for everything cryptid creatures.
If you got a story or encounter you want to share, go on there and share your encounter. Sign up for our email list. Check it out and let us know what you think.
That's right. Say hey, drop us a line.
We'd like to hear from you. Get a hold of us.
Absolutely.
Another good episode, my friend. Good hanging out with you.
Always fun.
All right, we'll get out of here. Until next time.
Yep. See ya.